Oh, yeah, it is Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you know what that means. It means it is time for In the Zone with your boy, Zeb Media. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being here for yet again another episode. We are back with a very special edition with some very special guests joining us here today. We will get to that here in just a second. The people are starting to come in the chat. If you don't mind, it helps out. Hit the thumbs up on your way in on the video. Greatly appreciate that. Make sure you are subscribed so you are here every Wednesday with us. We talk all things sports news, sports betting, and anything else we feel like getting into. But with that being said, another week down, episode 17. And we've been hyping this up all week. Folks. We got some champs in the building. We got some champions in the building. And no, I ain't talking about that championship right there. No, I'm talking about something crazy, something real. We're not going to waste too much time here. We are going to get into all of your breaking NFL, NHL, MLB Free Agency news later. But if you are ready to bring our guests in for today and get this interview started, let me see a thumbs up in the chat. Let's go. These two young men are from the home state of Maryland. Shout out. Great to see the home state getting put on in an international scale, to be honest with you guys. It is great to see. And we're going to get ready to bring these guys in here. I know they are ready to go. Fellas, if you are ready, let me get a thumbs up from you guys. We're ready to go. All right. We're going to bring in our young champions. You guys know. Hold up. I mean, let's just say the resume real quick. 12 years old, already the IBJJF Pan Kids Champion. The IBJJF European Kids Champion. I believe he won in Atlanta as well, folks, at the International. Then we have the 15-year-old, already Pan Kids Champion, IBJJF European Kids Champion, also the Atlanta International Champion. Folks, please welcome in the men of the hour, Bain Hughes and Gabriel Silva.
Hello.
What is up, fellas? Good to have you on the show. How are we doing?
Pretty good here.
Awesome. We are going to get ready to get this thing underway. I know I talked to you guys behind the curtain a little bit, but just real quick, how was your guys' holiday? Bain, we'll start with you. I hope it was a good one.
Yeah, I got a bunch of great presents. I got this new thing called the skill board for enhancing my balance, but I was sick during the holidays and could not visit my grandparents.
Hey, man, I hope you get to visit them soon. I'm glad you got a few things that you like, though. Gabriel, how about you, man? How was your holiday?
Mine was good. I was at home just chilling out with my parents, my mom and dad, and we opened a bunch of presents. And my mom made some really good food for breakfast, dinner, and stuff. And we were just like enjoying our family time there. So that was good.
Man, best part about the holidays, the food and the family, right? That's the best part. So with that being said, folks, as you just heard, these two young men have just went over to Dublin, Ireland. They are from Maryland, and they won the IBJJF Kids European Jiu-Jitsu Championship. This is an international tournament, right, guys? I mean, kids from all over the world come here, correct?
Yeah.
And we have the legend in the building now as well, Vicente Junior. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Zaz, what's up, guys? Hey, Ben.
Hi.
For you guys that don't know, Vicente Junior, absolute legend, man. Fifth degree black belt, world gi, no gi champion, 7-time Pan American. Honor to have him on the show. We were just talking about the holidays. Coach, how was your holiday, man?
It was great. First of all, thanks everyone that watching and support the show. Thanks, Zeb, for having us. That's it's a great pleasure to us to be part of such a great project that you have. I'm honored to be here. Yeah, man. Our holidays were great. I mean, the team is doing great. Like those kids are being crushing everything. So, I mean, I could not ask you for better holidays.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on the show. The honor is all mine, to be honest with you. I want to go ahead and get right into it. First, congratulations. I know, Bain, you just recently got promoted to blue belt, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it was really made me really happy. I was literally crying afterwards. I was very unexpected. And thank you so much, Professor.
That's so cool, man. Congratulations. That's really awesome. With that being said, Bain, I know you started BJJ at like 6 years old, right?
Yeah, so I've been training at Conquest for 4 years. But before that, I was training at another gym for around 2 years, from like 6 to 8.
Okay. And so starting at such a young age, I mean, there's so many choices out there for what you can get into. What made BJJ the one for you? Like, why wasn't it wrestling? Why wasn't it football? What drew you into that BJJ?
Yeah, so we tried a lot of things. I didn't like some of them. Some of them were okay, but then we found jiu-jitsu, and it kind of just resonated with me. I like being physical. It's kind of like an art too. Now that I've gotten more technical and better at it, it's kind of like an art. You go into a trance and just flow. And I really, really enjoy jiu-jitsu. It's one of it's the best sport in my opinion.
Awesome, man. I mean, yeah, you've clearly found your niche, man. You're very good at it. You've had a lot of success recently. And when you find something you fall in love with, I mean, and you work hard, you're going to have success, right?
Yeah.
Going to Gabriel, I know you grew up on the mat with your dad. You've probably been doing this stuff since you could even walk. What has it been like having your dad as your coach, all this way?
It's been like a bit unique. Most people, they'll just like find like you have to like look around, find the right person. And like with my dad being able to be my coach, I know it's like someone I can really trust well to like teach me the right stuff and how to like behave properly, like on the mat and off, and like do like techniques very well. It's just a great experience to have him as my professor.
That's awesome, man. Coach, I mean, how about for you? What's it been like for you being able to coach your son and see him have so much success here recently?
For me, it wasn't that easy. I was actually talked to some friends about it, and I try to help some parents that don't train, guiding them, because I like to say parents are not coach are not parents, right? So, and to me, it was like Gabriel said, it was unique because I need to be able to separate both things, right? And for some certain time, I think I hold back a lot because I was more scary of people like judging him because for the fact that he's my son. Like, oh, you should be good because of your dad. You should do this because of your dad. And he, to be honest, like he doesn't really care. He never let that pressure like take control of him. But I would be honest, I think this took a little bit of control of me in the beginning. But I were able to. I would say he taught me more than I teach him. Like we always have some like on the beginning we will had some issues on the mat. Like I will coaching him, just kind of like for instance, say, "Go, Gabriel, do this," and he screaming at him like I scream at anybody else, and he will start crying. And later on, I will talk to him and say, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And he's like, oh, I thought you were mad at me, then I will absorb that information and it's like, oh, so he thinks I'm mad at him because he sees me as his dad, not as his coach, right? And so I learned a lot, but it was, I'm not saying it's easier right now. Now it's more manageable.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, that's a real unique experience that a lot of people don't get to have. So it's really cool to kind of get that insight from you on that there. Um, to go off of that, I mean, talking about obviously the recent success that he's had and, being able to experience those feelings. We'll go back to both boys. We'll start with you, Bain. I mean, most recently, obviously the European Championship. You guys won the Pan Championship in Florida over the summer. I know you said that was very emotional for you. Can you explain what it's like to compete on such a big stage and what those emotions are when you get that gold medal and you get first place in these tournaments?
Yeah, so part of why I was so emotional is because I had lost the 2 years before. And so it was kind of this huge buildup. So that when I won, there was like thousands of people watching there and my whole team there, everyone supporting me. I even have this really great picture of like the whole team like cheering with their hands up and everyone screaming.
Awesome.
Every time I look at it, it makes me so happy. And after I won, I came back and I was hugging everybody. I was crying. My dad was like videoing me crying. It was super emotional. It was just everything was. I kept thinking like, is this actually real? Did this just happen? And it was a really, really great experience.
That's awesome, dude. That takes a lot of perseverance and shows, how dedicated you truly are to your craft to be able to, go those few years and you come back and do something like that. That's pretty inspiring. Gabriel, how about for you? I mean, what are some of the emotions? How does it feel for you when you're competing on these big stages?
For me, at first when I started competing, I was always like really nervous. It's like, oh, there's too many people here. I can't really handle this. But like over the time, like especially until like the Pan Am Championships in the summer, I've grown to like get over the nerves. Especially when I did my first Pans, like back in like 2020, I was pretty nervous then. I lost first match really quickly because I was like too nervous. I was like not as great then either. And just getting this year, I was like, I'm not gonna let this happen again. I just like listened to some music and then I put it like the headphones away. I just checked in, got on the mat, and then I started just doing my thing, and it was just great. And I got off the mat. I just like same thing with Bain. I was like really emotional. I was like, finally, I did this. Let's go.
That's awesome, man. Coach, I mean, these tournaments, they're no joke, right? Can you kind of explain for the people watching the magnitude of these Pans and these European tournaments and kind of the work that goes into preparing for a tournament like this?
Oh yeah, yeah, Zed. It's yeah. Thanks for highlight that. Yeah, it's like the Pans, kids Pans. It's the biggest kids tournament in the world. As right now, they have around 3,500, 4,000 competitors total. It is like 4 days tournament. Like start on Thursday, go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Um, and each division has around at least like 10 competitors. Sometimes like some younger divisions will be at least like 5 competitors, but when you say like 5 competitors, it's 5 competitors that already won like Brazilian nationals, American nationals, won something that big, and those guys like already, those kids already like being the best of the best on their teams. And like Ben and Gabriel say, like they've been working hard for several years, lead to this tournament. And they also have a teammate named Elijah that been training with them for these tournaments like for over a year, and he also won Pans. He got first there, and but unfortunately he could not make to European. But yeah, they've been training together. Like they're like best trained partners. I joke with them because like they won together the same year, and I call them the Three Musketeers because they did that together. So it was really.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. So, I mean, I got imagine that it feels amazing for you to see these guys having so much success and getting all this recognition at such a young age, right?
Yeah, definitely. I got very excited for them. I've been competing a lot already. I'm still competing. This for the past couple of years, I haven't competed as often because I've been dedicating my time for them. When you're a competitor, you're very selfish. You have to wake up early, like train. You're just thinking about your progress, your yeah, how you can be better every day. So, and as a team leader, right? Like we have a big school, big team. I had to put my competitor career aside for a little bit to focus on them, and it's even more it's make me feel so much better, see them winning, achieving that success than doing it myself. It's to me is like it's a proof of my commitment to them, right? Not that if they don't do as I expected, I will be disappointed or anything. To me, it's always about the life experience and how that training together that build up to the tournament and after the tournament will teach them life lessons, right? Like because the medals, the titles, it will go away, but the memories and the life experience will last forever. I tell that to Gabriel, especially for being my son, that I will be always his dad, but I will not be always his coach. So we need to, make sure that we have that experience as a dad and son, and the tournament is just part of it.
That's very well said. You kind of actually touched on a few of the things that I wanted to talk about in there as well. So that's pretty well said. Yeah, that's a pretty amazing. I wanted to ask if you were still competing as well, and you saying that it's showing your commitment to them. I mean, it obviously does. These guys are having a lot of success at such a young age, and you being their coach, teaching them all this way and getting them there, man. Just more respect to all of you guys for having so much success. Um, with all the recognition that you guys are getting, Bain, Gabriel, how do you feel about it? I know you guys obviously like winning the tournaments, and that's great. But Bain, we'll start with you. How do you feel about the recognition that kind of comes with it?
Yeah, the recognition. It kind of like it's just a part of the journey, like he said, everything just goes away eventually. The titles, the medals, it's all about the life experience. It's all about becoming a better person, and ultimately, for my goals, becoming a black belt world champion.
Gabe, how about for you? I mean, I know you guys get a lot of recognition from these tournaments. Is it kind of just all white noise to you?
For me, I just kind of like, I feel like happy about it. It's like a lot of people are knowing about like the sport, like this jiu-jitsu. Like,
You like it? Be honest.
like it's cool to know that other people are hearing about like what you're doing, and but sometimes I just kind of like think past it. Like I just don't really care at some points, and other points I'll be like, yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts have been getting a lot more attention and popularity in the past few years here recently as well. So it's great to see a few more eyes kind of come into the sport,
Yeah.
Coach, you kind of touched on it a little bit when you were speaking earlier. I wanted to ask you, because I saw in the other interview you did, you said you saw that these tournaments as life lessons and experiences. Can you kind of describe like some of the things that these guys learn for off the mat or for life through these experiences and these tournaments that they go through?
Oh, yeah, of course. So as they say, right? They mentioned it before. They compete two pans before leading to this Pan Ams and the European. And I remember clearly first Pan Ams, Ben won one match, lost his second match, and that gave him like he's like, oh, I want to do this again, right? Like I can't do it. I came here first time and I won one match. I can't make it. Then the second year, like he trained like 5 times more, and he still go there like and lost his first match like that close. If he had like 1 second extra, he could have win. And I could see the frustration of his dad like in the corner, not believing what he see. And I didn't either because we're all like, man, those kids are gonna destroy this year. Gabriel the same thing, like he was taking everything as just a joke, not a joke, but more like, yeah, I'm training. We're going to Orlando. Let's go to Universal, Disney. Let's go have fun. But then the second year, he trained really hard. And I remember he's sitting on a corner after his first match, crying like an adult, like, like in that fetal position with his hands on his head. And I was like, try to, talk to him. And he's like, so much work for nothing. And I was like, welcome to life. That's how life is, man. Sometimes you put all your time on it, you put everything you have, and doesn't work the way you want. And that's how it would be on your life. That's how it's going to be on your job. That's how it's going to be in school. That's how it's going to be on your relationships. And that's how it is. And I think that day, they learn a huge valuable lesson, right? And I ask the students all the time, every time they go to the tournament, winning or losing, I was like, how's the tournament? Then they're like, oh, I lost. Or, oh, I won. I was like, did you learn something? Then they're like, huh? Then I was like, yeah, because if you won the tournament, but you didn't absorb anything, you didn't learn anything, you lost. You waste your time, right? And it's always a life lesson. I think you need to always like try to put yourself above some situations to try to look for a higher place, right? Like so you can see from outside and see like and be critical about yourself, right? And I try to teach them that all the time. It's not about the tournament; it's about what leads to the tournament. Because I think actually, in my opinion, the competition itself is easy, right? You go there 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 match, 3 match. The harder part is wake up early, have a commitment with your training partners, have a commitment with your team, have a commitment with your parents, go to the gym every day, be honest to yourself every day. So I think that's the life lessons they take from to outside the mat. It's like, be honest to themselves and to the others, be a true team member, not like only on the victory but on defeat, right? Like because and their opponent put the same amount of work or sometimes even more, but I teach them to always thinking about nobody can outwork you, but maybe is there someone that so you need to be respectful to everybody, and learn that that's life. Sometimes you put a lot of work and it works just as perfect, and sometimes you put a lot of work and doesn't come back the way you expect it.
Yeah, it's very well said. Yeah, a lot to learn on the mat, obviously. Fellas, I kind of wanted to piggyback off of that, asking you as well, getting into our kind of last few questions here. What is something that you guys have learned for taking off the mat from jiu-jitsu? Bain, we can go ahead and start with you.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu is really great. It's really great, and I've learned many things. And one of the things I've learned is that win or lose, like your team will always support you. Like everyone still loves you. It's not like you did anything wrong. Tried your best. So always just go work your best. Always believe in yourself, and always just train, work as much as you can, and you'll get there eventually.
That's well said too. Gabe, anything that you can share with us that jiu-jitsu has taught you for off the mat in life?
Mostly similar to what Bain said, what my dad said. Like it just takes a lot. Like everything is gonna take hard work, no matter what you do, what you're trying to work on. If you just have like a simple school project they need to work on, or like a big tournament that you need to train for, it's always going to take a lot of hard work. Like perfect practice is always going to make perfect performance, or at least like the best performance you can have. It always has to take as much hard work, because if you work hard for something, you will most likely and eventually get it what you want.
Hey, I like that. I like perfect practice makes perfect performance. I like that. I like that. That's a drop right there. Last few here, Bain, you touched on kind of the team and sportsmanship in jiu-jitsu. That seems to be a big theme of it, right? Can you guys kind of speak to the culture of being in a gym with these guys? Like, for some people that don't know, like I told you guys backstage, I'm no jiu-jitsu guy, but I wrestled, and you kind of, the martial arts build almost like a brotherhood that, you know, kind of builds you guys in a family, right? Can you kind of explain that? Gabe and Coach, we can start with you guys.
All right. So yeah, man, we're a big family because it takes a lot of trust, respect, and commitment to, you know, be in the mat, like wrestle every day, you know, sweating, like you pretty much like you work in submissions like arm locks, like chokes. You need to trust your training partner, right? And we try to build like a big community, like for example for the kids and teens, and in a competition class, the parents always drop off them and they go to a coffee shop nearby to the gym. They talk, they have a cup together, they plan for the next tournaments. After the tournaments, we all go to a restaurant together. You know, we gathering, like we talk, we have fun. You know, like every other family, we have some issues sometimes. You know, it's, if you don't have issues, it's not true relationship, right?
Right.
Can
Yeah,
be
of course.
perfect, but yeah, it's amazing. Like I have those guys, like the adults, the kids to me like kids, you know, like my own sons. Every time when I have an issue with you know what, outside or inside the match with any students, I always try to talk to them. You know, I try to always message when they don't show up to the class. So obviously you can't reach out to everybody, but
Right.
I usually I message and say, hey guys, how are you doing? We did like a really good job during COVID. I think that's what also got the gym a lot more together and connect. So we could not train for pretty much a year. So we kept doing like a lot of Zoom calls. We pretty much like froze like everybody membership. Then we had those Zoom calls that we talk. We will do like exercise together. Then we will like sometimes do like competition study. Like we'll put some like mats between like some big names on jiu-jitsu and study the mats and stuff like that. Obviously, like the kids like Gabriel, Bain, and some other competitors will get annoyed in one point. It's like, oh, I'm tired of this. I want to choke someone in real life. But we try. I mean, we try, like we try, and it worked pretty good. I think that moment it was like very very sensitive, and like it actually got us way more like connect. And that's what jiu-jitsu and the sports main goal is, like build community, build friendship, you know. And that's it. I think like the gym, it's great, right, Gabe?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I can kind of tell. It seems like everyone's very supportive of each other. You guys are always rooting on for one another, at least from what I see on the outside looking in. It definitely seems like a family. For our last few questions here, moving forward, guys, competitively, what is next for you? I know you guys just had these two big wins. Bain, we'll start with you. Competitively, what's up next for you?
Yeah, so now that I'm a juvenile blue belt, the tournaments kind of change times and there's different ones. So at the January 20 something, I'm going to Europe again in France to compete at European nationals, for blue belts and adults.
Very cool. Is there a way like that people can watch these tournaments? Are these like streamed anywhere, or is this just public? Because I'd like to tune in and see if you watch you guys matches.
They're on flow grappling or flow
Yeah,
Flow?
sports.
the Kids European was kind of like um, they didn't have coverage, but the Europeans that because like the one that was last Monday was this Monday was Kids European, right? The one the Bain is now eligible for because he's gonna turn 16 on next year. So now he's juvenile and he's gonna pretty much compete at the adult version
Okay.
of the European kids, which is like bigger. It's like it's actually it's the whole week. That one is will be covered by Flow Grappling.
Flow grappling. All right. We'll
Yep.
make sure to tune in for that then. We'll have to book that. Gabe, what's up for you next competitively?
As of now, probably one of the main plans is to go back to Pan Am's back in Florida in the summer and go win that again. But there's a couple of tournaments that I hope to do like locally. I'll just like use those tournaments there, and maybe even go to like Brazil or some other places like that to compete in those other big tournaments there. That's just a hope that I want if I can eventually get to that. So.
I think you'll get there, man. You guys are having a lot of success recently. I think you'll get there. If you guys have any questions, we're going to get ready to kind of wind this thing down. Try to throw them in the chat now. We'll try to get to those. Coach, anything competitively coming up for you? I know you said you still compete from time to time.
Right now, no, because like those kids is keeping getting me busier, like more and more. When I think they kind of like, oh, I'm gonna take a year break, then they're like, oh no, now we're gonna do this one, this one. So yeah, no, Zabab, I don't know. I'm not sure right now. I do want to. I love to compete. Every time I talk about competition, I got goosebumps. Like I really love compete. That's my like you guys say, that's my jam. I really like it. I got really pumped. Like why people got nervous? Like when I got the day in the competition, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to like go there and I'm ready for business. Like I love compete, but again, like I need to commit time to them, and the team really needs my attention right now, and I'm here to help them. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for the future for these kids. I believe the future is brighter for them.
Absolutely. I think it is too, man. I think these guys have a bright future ahead of them. Fellas, with that being said, last one or two questions here. What are your ultimate goals in BJJ? I know everyone kind of, I mean, would think like you want to get a black belt, but is there anything kind of beyond that, or what is your ultimate goal for at least right now in jiu-jitsu? Bain, if you have one.
Yeah, so I said before I wanted to be a black belt world champion, but then more than that, I also want to kind of give back to the jiu-jitsu team that grew me so well. So maybe once I get my black belt or even purple and brown belts, to start teaching and giving back to people.
That's an awesome outlook on it. Gabe, how about for you, man? Ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu.
Um, Pretty like for one part is like similar to Bane, grow up, be black belt, maybe win those big tournaments they have there, like Worlds and Brazilian Nationals and Europeans. But mostly just like share the knowledge I have that like now even like I'm going around teaching some other kids like whenever I can, and then like I just want to like help them be like in that like stage to be able to like be like one of the best. And
That's super cool, man, that you guys, not only having so much success on your own and are, very good at your craft, but you want to give back and you want to help others, man. That just kind of shows about your guys' character and, shows you guys are truly two young men with bright futures. You guys are great kids, and I think you got a great future ahead of you. I want to congratulate you on all the success that you guys have had. Guys in the chat, if we can, give these guys a thumbs up. We ran a little over here. I don't want to take them too much of their time now. We'll get ready to close this thing out here. I know they're very busy. Once again, though, Coach, thank you for coming on. Thank you for bringing these guys on, Bain, Gabe. It was an honor to have all you guys. I wish you guys so much luck and success on what's coming up for you. And, you know, maybe next time, few tournaments you guys win, we'll have you back on here and we'll have to have another sit down.
Yeah, thank you, Zeb, for the opportunity again. It was an honor to be part of your show, and I'm gonna leave the invitation here for you. Stop by at Millersville or Pasadena, Conquest BJJ. Check it out, like conquestbjj.com, and you're gonna have like a free week to training there, like with us.
Hey man, y'all heard him. Y'all see the belt. You heard him. BJJ Zeb's coming. Here we go. No, I'm just playing. Hey, I appreciate that, Coach. Maybe I'll send you a DM and take you up on that. Thanks again, guys. Once I close this out, you guys can hop out. You're welcome to hang out in the live chat or anything. But once again, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure, Zeb. I will tell you more. Like anybody that watched that podcast and come to the gym and say that watch the podcast and saw us in a podcast, you got like 7 days free to train with us there. Just coming up that podcast. I saw you guys, and you got 7 days free there to train with us.
Hey man, you heard it here first. You heard it here first, Coach. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
All right, fellas. Good luck. We'll see you guys later. Give it up in the chat for these guys, man. I mean, did you just hear that? Hey, you better go down on the Conquest and tell them you was watching In the Zone, because get yourself a free week. You heard them. You heard them. Jiu-Jitsu Zeb is coming, bro. Jiu-Jitsu Zeb is coming. Oh, my goodness. What? That just was like, that was a crazy ending to that. That was, oh man. Everybody's showing love in the chat. Everybody's showing love in the chat. That was a great interview, man. If you guys haven't, if you liked that interview, please hit a thumbs up on this video. What an interview, man. Make sure you go to Conquest Jiu-Jitsu. You heard them. Millersville, Maryland, Pasadena, Maryland. Tell them you were watching In the Zone and get your free week. Bro, let's go together. We can go. We can go. We can do it. See? Yeah, I'm going to be Jiu-Jitsu Zeb in here. All right. Hey, man, appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Those guys got a bright future, man. It's going to be exciting to see Bain's next tournament. Like they said, he's going to the juvenile tournaments now, kind of a step up for him. Gabriel, I'm sure, is going to have much more success as he keeps going on. Great interview, man. Thank you to those guys again. With that being said, let's kind of readjust here. Get ready to keep this thing rolling. Didn't even go through all these slides that I had, but you know what? It's all good because the interview was just flowing. We are going to get ready to get into some quick NHL talk real quick. You know, we're going to come at you with all of your NHL, NBA, NFL, and MLB free agency news. Mark, appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. With that being said, your current NHL standings. This is how they lie right now. Hey, man, stay tuned. The next guest is coming in January. Just a teaser there for you guys. Next guest in January. So stay tuned. But these are your current NHL standings. You see the Golden Knights still leading the way. Stars still leading the way. The Bruins still leading the way. Hurricanes and the Devils sitting atop the Metropolitan. But how about the Washington Capitals? going 9-1 in their last 10 on a 5-game win streak to be third in the Metropolitan. Come on, let's go. Shout out to the Caps getting things together, moving in the third. Great to see it. Bruins on top of the Atlantic still, Maple Leafs right behind them. And some news, some NHL news for you guys that we're going to go ahead and get into. We have a few stories here. The Toronto Maple Leafs have been fined $100,000 by the NHL for traveling to St. Louis on December 26th, when December 26th is technically considered an off day for all purposes in the NHL. No travel allowed. So they are fined $100,000. Yes, sir. Caps. It was an expensive week for the Maple Leafs as their head coach was also fined last night. Sheldon Keefe was given a $25,000 fine for demeaning conduct during yesterday's game after they did not call a high stick against his player. Call that as you may, but Sheldon Keefe gets the $25,000 fine. To keep going here with the NHL news, we'll kind of throw your standings up here for you guys to look at. Patrick Kane as free agency looms in the NHL. Patrick Kane, a big name that has been thrown out there. He is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, regular season and playoffs MVP. Look for him to maybe be on the move here. New York Rangers are a big destination kind of hotspot for him. He grew up in New York. They have 2 first-round picks, so they could make a trade for him. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Stay tuned. We do have your NBA coverage coming up, your NFL coverage coming up, and a quick touch on some MLB free agents. So, but these are your NHL standings. And like I said, center Bo Horvat also is looking to maybe be a big free agency guy here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But let's look at your action on the ice tonight. A few games set to drop the puck. A few games started back at 7. As we look at your games tonight, go ahead and refresh this and get your scores here. The Lightning are up 2-0 over the Montreal Canadiens. Penguins staying hot 1-0 over the Detroit Red Wings. The Bruins and the Devils, 2 first-place teams there. That'll be a good match to just drop the puck. And then tonight you got the Golden Knights taking on the last-place Ducks. So that should, be a Golden Knights W pretty handedly if things go as planned. Flames and the Kraken, though, those are even odds for the Flames Kraken. So you can find all of your current NBA, NFL, and NHL betting odds down there at the bottom on our current live odds ticker. Odds are subject to change, just so you know. With that being said, that'll do it for your NHL coverage. Look for Patrick Kane on the move, though. And a good game between the Devils and the Bruins. We're going to get ready to keep this train rolling. I'm still in shock of that interview, man. Super awesome. Got to give Vicente an outlet to talk more. You can tell he has a lot of wisdom to spill. He really does, man. He dropped a lot of keys in there. Seems like he's a very wise guy. It's a lot of knowledge coming from him in that short amount of time that we had with him. I did throw the invite out there for maybe a potential comeback, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get Vicente and the guys to come back on for a future episode. It was really cool. It was really super awesome, man. Just so you guys know, I will be cutting and posting the interview separately as well after the live. That should be up by next week. So I'll post the interview so you guys can go back and watch the interview whenever you want on its own separate video. Let's take a look at the MLB Free Agency here. A few guys, we're not going to take too much time on this, but a few guys did sign deals. Right-handed pitcher Corey Kluber signs a one-year deal, $10 million with the Boston Red Sox. A few other guys, some catchers that inked some deals. The Golden Glover, former Gold Glover, Tucker Barnhart signs a 2-year, $6.5 million contract with the Chicago Cubs. And then the Atlanta Braves signed their guy, Sean Murphy, key piece to their success. They extend him to a 6-year, $73 million deal. Yes, John Wick, it is coming up now that we just covered those few free agents here. We are going to talk about a little bit of NBA. These are your current NBA standings. As we can see, the Celtics and the Bucks still going back and forth for first in the East. The Nets looking as we thought they would be at the beginning of the season, 9-1 in their last 10. They've gotten it together here. They're in the 3 spot. Knicks still hanging out in the 6th spot, right behind the Cavs and the 76ers. Hawks fall down to 9. Wizards 3-7 in their last 10. They go to the 12 seed. Looking at the Western Conference, though, the Denver Nuggets, number 1 spot, sitting at 22-11. Pelicans right behind them with 21 wins. And the Grizzlies and the Clippers, it's like the top 6 teams in the West are kind of in a log jam. They all, even when you look at it, most of the West, but those top 6 teams, 19 wins or more, very close in the West right now. Very, very close. And looking at a guy that just had a historic night, I know John Wick has been wanting to highlight him. Luka Doncic last night, 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists, and 16 free throws made. Luka Doncic made history last night, folks. This guy is just completely insane. He's got the Mavericks in the 6th seed, basically single-handedly. Luka Doncic seems to be just a generational talent. I'm hoping that he can have some success here and get some help. I mean, he is in the 6th seed without any help, fighting almost for first, only a few games out of first. But this guy is just unreal. I mean, in his last stretch of games, he's been completely on fire. He put up 50 a few nights ago. We're kind of witnessing history here. This is the first time that a player has ever put up 60 points and 21 rebounds, 10 assists in a game. Just carrying Dallas on his back. And it's pretty amazing to see. Looking around the rest of the NBA, some injury news for the Phoenix Suns, who are in the 5th seed right above the Dallas Mavericks. Their star shooting guard, Devin Booker, is out 4 weeks with a groin strain. After 4 weeks, he will be reevaluated. So it's not even set that he comes back in 4 weeks. He just has a reevaluation. So that's a big loss for them over there in Phoenix. Looking around the rest of the NBA, Bradley Beal for the Wizards set to maybe make his return this Friday. Wizards fans be excited to see him back. And let's take a look at your stat leaders as they are right now as well. Joel Embiid still leading the way scoring-wise. He is sitting just above Luka Doncic. They're basically tied. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jason Tatum round out your top 5. Domantas Sabonis leading the way in rebounds with Rudy Gobert. AD still up there. Giannis top 5 again. Looking at your assists, Tyrese Halliburton, still double-digit assists on the year. Trae Young right behind him, basically 10 assists as well. These are your field goal percentage leaders. Nick Claxton for the Knicks shooting at a strong 73% right now. Looking through your three-pointers, Buddy Hield takes away Steph Curry's number 1 spot as Curry has been injured. So Buddy Hield takes the number 1 spot at 132 three-pointers made. Looking through your three-point percentage, Yuta Watanabe. Nets have 2 pretty high percentage shooters there. Nick Claxton in field goal percentage and Yuta Watanabe in three-point percentage. Blocks per game, Nick Claxton top 5 again here. Anthony Davis top 5 again here as well, but Brook Lopez leads the way. And then OG Anunoby still sitting atop your steals leaders currently. So let's take a look at the games on the court right now. The Magic and the Pistons in a kind of close game, 37-41. Detroit Wizards lead the way over the Suns. Let's go. Washington up 56-42 in the second quarter. The Nets down by a three-pointer in the first to the Hawks. Lakers up by 2 against the Heat in the first. And then we see the Bucks Bulls set to tip off here in a little bit. Jazz and the Warriors, Timberwolves Pelicans, and then the Nuggets Kings round out the night. Here's John Wick's MVPs. Luka, Giannis, and then Tatum and Jokic. I like it. I like that list. I mean, it's pretty. I could agree with that list. Go ahead and bring up your standings here as we get ready to. That was the wrong track. We're getting ready to go into some NFL talk. We got a lot to talk about in the NFL. We have a lot to talk about in the NFL. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But real quick, before we do, if you guys don't mind, hit a thumbs up on the video for me. If you enjoyed that interview with Vicente Junior, the 5th degree black belt, he is a world gi, no gi champion, 7-time Pan American, as we said. And his students, Gabe Silva, his son, the Pan Kids Champion, the European Kids Champion for the IBJJF. And then Bain Hughes, obviously, he as well is the IBJJF Pan Kids Champion. He is the IBJJF European Kids Champion. It was so great to have those guys on the stream today. Please hit the thumbs up, man. And if you guys were new to the show today, make sure you are subscribed because we have some interviews coming up in the future. We talk all things breaking sports news, sports betting, and more. If you are ready for some football talk, let me see some football emojis in the chat because we are getting ready to get into it. There are a lot of injuries. There's some breaking news stories. We got to talk about how to make some money. Let's go. Let's get into it. Hey, and y'all heard the coach, man. Y'all heard the coach, BJJ Zeb. Go get your free week at BJJ, Conquest BJJ. Tell them you were watching In the Zone with Zeb. You get a free week. Shout out Conquest BJJ and Coach Vicente. Super cool of him to do that and to offer that to me. The NFL, though, oh, man. I mean, what can I say about the NFL, guys? This league, I think I know football, and then week in and week out, it's just like, what happened? With that being said, let's do a quick recap of last week's games. Look at what happened, because it never disappoints. It never disappoints. Vicente the GOAT. Shout out. These are your week 16 games in the NFL. Shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars, dog of the week last week. Jacksonville Jaguars get it done pretty handedly over the Jets, 19-3. And it's looking like Zach Wilson's time in New York is up. And the Jets are still a year or two out. They got some talent, but they're still a year or two out. Looking through the next couple games here, how about the Baltimore Ravens? I sat in the cold and froze my butt off and watched that game. Ravens take a big W. Tyler Huntley leading the way. Fight. 17-9 win for the Baltimore Ravens over the Atlanta Falcons. I sat out there on Christmas Eve and froze my butt off for a Ravens W, but it was all worth it. The beer was cold. The Ravens won, and I only had a first-degree case of hypothermia. It didn't get that bad, only first degree. Moving on, looking through the rest of them, the Lions and the Panthers. Once again, I cannot predict the Panthers game. For the past few, almost the whole season, I have predicted every Panthers game wrong. So shout out to the Panthers for just always doing what I think they're not going to do. I can literally never predict that team. So they get the job done against the Lions, though. The Lions fighting for a playoff spot here. That hurts their chances. As we know, the Panthers season is done. They're just looking to play spoiler at this point. But the Seahawks and the Chiefs. The Seahawks take a big L by 14 points to Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, as the Kansas City Chiefs are looking good going into playoff time here in the NFL. We look through the Saints get it done. Shout out Jay Cruz and the Saints. Your team got it done against the Dookie Cleveland Browns. Felt good to see them lose after handing my Ravens the loss. Browns just don't have it this year, it seems. And the Saints, I don't know, man. I just don't know with the Saints. They need a quarterback. They need a young quarterback. And I don't know. I don't know with the Saints. The Saints are just kind of weird right now. Moving on. Everything's going Green Bay's way. Green Bay losing this weekend. Everything went all well for the Packers and Green. Yeah, I know you're still pulling for that. We'll see. Hey, why are you from Maryland and you like the Steelers, Richard? Come on now. Come on. Looking through the Bengals, our lock of the week last week did come through. As much as it pained me to do it, the Bengals did cover the spread. We took them -3. They win by 4. So literally just covered the spread. So Bengals, if you're going to win, at least thank you for covering that. Giants fall to the Vikings as the Vikings stay top dog in the NFC. 27-24 win. They squeak by to keep looking forward. The Bills kind of did as expected against the Bears, 35-13. How about the Houston Texans, though?
Oh no! We suck again!
That is what Tennessee Titans fans are saying, as they are on about like a 7-game skid right now. The Titans have now, lost control of the AFC South, and they fall to arguably the worst team in the NFL, the Houston Texans, 19-14. And looking ahead for them this week, Derrick Henry, doubtful with a hip injury. Derrick Henry, doubtful with a hip injury for the Tennessee Titans. So, Tennessee Titans fans,
Oh no! We suck again!
sorry, but hey, these things happen. Looking at the Commanders, this game kind of went as expected as well. 37-20 for the Commanders. The Commanders decide to bench Taylor Heineke, and they will roll with Carson Wentz. I don't know if that's the right decision. If you ask me, I don't really believe in Carson Wentz. I mean, although he did come in against the San Francisco 49ers, he went 12 for 16, 123 yards with a touchdown against a tough San Francisco defense. I don't think Carson's your answer. I mean, Heineke might not be the answer either, I guess, at this point. But I think at this point, at least from an outsider's perspective looking in, the team believes or rallies around Heineke a little bit more. He's a little bit more electric. So I would have let him ride the season out. But, I mean, it's looking like the Commanders aren't going to make the playoffs here anyway. So whatever. I guess they can do as they please. They need a quarterback next year anyway. So it doesn't really matter who they play at quarterback going through the rest here. Chiefs, Niners. Hey, I got a parlay in on that. So I wouldn't mind that if the Baltimore Ravens don't make it. But the Ravens still got a chance, bro. I'm just saying. Looking at the Eagles and the Cowboys, Gardner Minshew hung in there with the Dallas Cowboys, 40-34. The Dallas Cowboys get the win, though. They will outscore the Eagles. I called that one last week, too, kind of. But Gardner Minshew, showed that he is still, a guy that can play. So, looking at the night game, the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, in a game where the Steelers honored Franco Harris and the Immaculate Reception. The Steelers got that done in a gritty way. If they were going to win, that's how they were going to do it. Defensive, gritty win for the Steelers, 13-10. And the Raiders Raiders are dead, man. Raiders are dead. Sorry. And breaking news coming out of the Raiders camp as well. How about this? Do I have something up for this? No. Okay. Anyway. Jarrett Stidham is named the starter for the Las Vegas Raiders this week. Derek Carr will be benched. And Josh McDaniels, a guy that he coached in New England, Jarrett Stidham, will be the starter for his Raiders team. Interesting move here by the Raiders. Jarrett Stidham played one game this season, October 30th, against the Saints. He went 8 for 13 with 72 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So interesting move here for the Raiders. We will see how that works out for them this week. Going through the rest of last week's games, the Packers get it done in Miami, 26-20 to keep their playoff hopes alive. Tua Tagovailoa is revealed to have a concussion yet again. Sad season for Tua. A lot of injuries, a lot of scary injuries for him as well. Few concussions. So I'm guessing Tua will be done for the year for Miami. And Miami, an unfortunate demise to the end of their season. looking at yeah, Josh Jacobs, pretty emotional. The Broncos and the Rams. How about the Rams absolutely destroying the Broncos 51-14? The Denver Broncos have fired their head coach Nathaniel Hackett, but have declared Russell Wilson will be their starter for the rest of the year. I guess that's what you got to do when you pay a guy $250 million. You got to still name him the starter, and you got to fire the head coach, even when your quarterback is missing wide open throws and has your receivers going in the middle of the field. I don't know, but Denver, hope it works out for you. Wishing nothing but the best for you. But it looks like it's going to be a rocky road. Moving on. Tampa Bay in an overtime game. I mean, Tom Brady, are we serious, dude? You go to overtime against the Trace McSorley-led Cardinals. I mean, what has become of this Tampa Bay team? It just does not. I mean, John Wick, I don't even know if you wanted that at this point, but Tampa Bay barely gets it done against a third-string quarterback in Arizona. Bro, Rodgers, I said y'all got the dub. We're on time constraints here, dog. Sorry, I can't stop and get on my knees for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Shout out for them. I won't get on my knees and praise them. I don't have a shrine for them like you do. If you want to get on your knees and say hallelujah to the Lord Jesus Savior, then more power to you. But y'all got the W and your playoff hopes are alive. I did say that. I did highlight your playoff hopes were alive. So shout out. Wishing nothing but the best for you. The Chargers beat the crap out of the Colts. I mean, let's just call it how we see it. The Chargers beat the crap out of the Colts 20-3. The Colts are absolutely dead. I don't know what's up with the Colts because they got a few players that are good. They lost Jonathan Taylor, though. They lost a few guys like Darius Leonard and a few other guys. I don't know, though. Colts just don't got it. They don't have any culture. They don't have nothing. Tua, 3 interceptions in the Packers game. Also had a concussion. Just madness. Colts suck. That's your recap of Week 16. Derek Carr, who knows, man? I mean, it wouldn't even surprise me. They need a you guys are insane. You guys are insane. Didn't even mean to highlight that one, but we are on a roll here. Let's keep this thing going, man. Let's just keep this thing going. NFL injuries. NFL injuries. A lot of them. So, let's go over these injuries. Key injuries, at least, because there's more that I don't even have on here. But a few guys to highlight. Tua Tagovailoa, as we just said, 3 interceptions against the Packers. He has another concussion. Looking like he's probably going to be done for the year. That's very unfortunate for Tua. Was having a great season numbers-wise and statistically, so sad to kind of see his season come to an end that way. You know, that kind of sucks. Derrick Henry, looking like he's going to be doubtful with a hip injury in Thursday night's game against the Cowboys. Looking through here, hey, Aaron Rodgers apparently dealing with a knee injury. He did miss practice today, Aaron Rodgers, but he is still expected to play Sunday. Probably just going to rest him through the week, and he will play Sunday. And then here for the Packers, you got Watson, Nixon, and Nijman are day-to-day. but David Bakhtiari might be back this week. So looking through the rest of them, for the Eagles kind of banged up here. Obviously, Jalen Hurts out, looking to get their offensive lineman Lane Johnson back in the playoffs. A.J. Brown, however, was limited in practice. He is expected to play, though, but something to keep an eye on. Miles Sanders, the Eagles running back, did not practice today. Did not practice. We'll have to watch tomorrow. He is questionable at the moment. If he practices tomorrow, Sanders will probably play Sunday. Avonte Maddox, also the cornerback for the Eagles, he is out indefinitely with a toe injury. Going through, we'll stop and talk about my Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, the big guy, our quarterback, Lamar Jackson, has not practiced back. He is not back at practice yet. It's not looking great for this week. He's listed as questionable, but we'll have to see if he comes back. If he's not in full practice by the end of the week, Lamar Jackson will be out, and Tyler Huntley will make the start against the division rival Pittsburgh Steelers in what is a big, big game for the Ravens if they want to clinch the AFC North division title. Speaking of the Bengals, their offensive tackle, La'el Collins, he is out with an ACL, MCL injury. He tore his ACL, MCL, and he will be out for the rest of the year. I don't know about that. I mean, they lost. They did put up 34 points, though, but they lost. Looking through the rest of these injuries, a few guys. Derwin James, I don't know if you guys saw, Derwin James laid this guy out in the Colts game. Absolutely demolished this receiver. He's now a concussion protocol. So we will have to see if Derwin James is playing this week. And to round things out, Thursday night, speaking of Micah Parsons is questionable with a hand injury. His running back on the other side, Tony Pollard, out of practice, questionable. We will see if he is able to put the pads on this week. That's most of the key injuries that have recently happened. Now that we've got our injuries out of the way, we did a quick highlight on last week's games. Let's take a look at week 17. Let's take a look at some standings. Dude, Saturday games are so much better than Sunday games. Quick, you know what? What do you guys prefer? Saturday or Sunday NFL games? I prefer Saturday games. I think it's so much better. You have the whole Friday and Saturday to do whatever you want, especially if you go to the game. You know, it's just perfect on Saturday. You don't got to worry about having work or school on Monday, staying up late watching the game. Like, it's so much better on Saturday. You would hope so, wouldn't you? I bet you like, please come back. Yeah, I think looking at Saturday gives me a day to recover from all the daddy sodas that I consume. There you go. That's what I'm saying. let's look at your division standings. Now, any team with that little orange bar next to them, they have clinched a wild card spot. Any team with a blue line next to them, they have clinched their division. True. I watch college football. Not hugely. I'm more watch the NFL. I would prefer the NFL on Saturday, but that is true. That does interfere. Underdog of the week, eh? So we see the Vikings. They have clinched the NFC North. The Niners have clinched the NFC West. The Chiefs have clinched the AFC West. And the Bills have clinched the AFC East. Eagles and Cowboys both clinch a wild card spot. So do the Bengals and the Ravens. Chargers also have clinched a wild card spot. I'm telling y'all, man, Ravens win this week. Bengals lose. Ravens beat the Bengals week 18. Ravens are going to win the AFC North. I'm just saying. Let's go ahead and take a look at your week 17 games coming up for these teams. Thursday night, we have the Cowboys taking on the Titans, who the Titans on a bad skid here, injury riddled. I mean, just kind of a very sad decline to their season here recently. Derrick Henry probably out. Cowboys are rolling, putting up 40 points last week. Yeah. Cardinals and the Falcons, that's, I mean, a game that really has no implications at this point. But Colt McCoy will start for the Cardinals. Desmond Ridder, the rookie, for the Falcons. So, you know, two kind of evenly matched teams, if you will. And a big shout out real quick. Speaking of the Cardinals game, I want to give a big round of applause and a big congratulations to a man who had such an amazing NFL career. Congratulations to J.J. Watt. Yeah, except we beat the Bengals earlier this year, so try it again. Congratulations to J.J. Watt on an amazing career. This guy was the most feared pass rusher in the league for a 4-year span, just completely unguardable. I mean, one of the best that we have seen in this time era. We talk about a guy off the field who, you know, is such a good person and does things for their community. We saw what he did in Texas. We saw what he did after the Hurricane Katrina. We saw so much of J.J. Watt giving back to his community. He truly embodies what it means to be a role model and a good person, especially as a star in the NFL. Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2017, and just absolute beast on the field, amazing human being off the field. Congratulations to J.J. Watt on an amazing career, and congratulations on retiring. I hope you enjoy your retirement with your beautiful wife, your beautiful son, and you deserve nothing less than an amazing retirement. So congratulations to J.J. Watt, man. Was an animal. Ambassador of the NFL. Absolutely, man. Great guy, great player. So congratulations to JJ. Going back to our games here. The Cardinals will take on the Falcons. In an AFC East matchup with Tua out to concussion, the Dolphins will take on the New England Patriots. And we see here the Dolphins have not clinched in the playoffs. So this is a big game for the Dolphins Patriots here. We will have to see how this goes without Tua. Dolphins Patriots, big game there in the AFC East. Saints Eagles in a game without Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew putting up big points last week. They will look to keep things rolling here. Colts and the Giants this week. Colts obviously just don't have it this year. They have a lot of work to do. It's looking to be a rebuild for them coming up. The Giants still in the hunt technically. So something to play here for the Giants. We'll have to see if they're able to get it done against Jeff Saturday's Colts, who have proved to be a scrappy bunch, but just cannot win here recently. We see the Panthers will take on the Bucks. As everybody knows, I can never predict Panthers games, so I'm sure I'll get this one wrong too. But Tampa Bay looking to stay atop the NFC South so that they can get into the playoffs here. Going through the rest of the games, the Broncos, who are just dead at this point, will take on the Chiefs, who have clinched that division. And fun fact for you guys, like we said the last time they played, the Broncos haven't beaten the Chiefs since like Peyton Manning was there. So if that gives you any hint on how this game should go, Broncos looking to, I don't know, spoil like the number 1 seed for the Chiefs maybe. Chiefs already clinched their division though, so Bears will take on the Lions in a game where the Bears looking to ruin the Lions' playoff chances. Last week, Lions loss hurt it, but I believe they're still in the hunt. They're going to look to beat the Bears here in a tough divisional matchup to keep their hopes alive. The Browns will take on the Commanders, who I believe the Commanders are technically still alive even after their loss last week. I don't think they're eliminated, but I think they need a little bit here. The Browns not going to be going to the playoffs, but they got to prove that Deshaun Watson is the future, so they'll be looking to kind of get some wins here. The Jacksonville Jaguars, oh yeah, real quick. As we said, Carson Wentz the starter now for the Commanders too for some reason. I don't know why, but we'll see. So you went out and you make the playoffs. Ugh. We'll see. I don't like Carson Wentz, but we'll see. Should have stuck with Heineke. The Jaguars will take on the Texans. And the Texans are coming off a win against the Titans. They're feeling good, but they are still one of the bottom teams in the NFL. And the Jaguars are hot recently, trying to clinch that AFC South here in the last couple weeks and get themselves into the playoffs. The San Francisco 49ers will take on the Las Vegas Raiders, as the Raiders are eliminated from playoff contention, but the 49ers have a lot to play for here. The Jets taking on the Seahawks. These two teams kind of falling out of contention here. I believe the Seahawks may still be in the hunt, but two teams who down the stretch here just kind of looking to get some wins together, build for their futures, probably, I'm guessing. Vikings and the Packers in a game that has a lot of implications. The Packers need to win this game to stay in the playoffs, and they need a little bit of help. The Vikings looking to kill the Packers' playoff hopes this weekend and put the final nail in that coffin. We'll see if they can get it done. The LA Rams will look to beat the LA Chargers, who have already clinched a wild card spot, but Rams could maybe mess up the seeding of the Chargers here. Just looking to get a win. Chargers still looking to win out and get a better seeding in the playoffs. I like Heineke, I do, but our offense is limited with his arm strength it is, and it shows when Carson comes in. Taylor just knows Scott's system. And, yeah, true. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like Carson Wentz. No offense, Carson. Sorry, like, if you ever somehow see this someday, because we're going to blow up. But you're just not playing that good right now, dog. Steelers and the Ravens, baby. Here we go. You know what time it is. VENS Ravens, baby. All day long, all night. Let's go, Ravens. Big game here for the Ravens against the divisional rival, the Pittsburgh Squealers. We will take them on in Baltimore, New Year's Day. We will beat them. Cincinnati's going to lose against the Bengals Monday night. And it's going to set up the Ravens to take back the AFC North. And I'm going to be telling all of y'all, I told you so. I told you so. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. Sunday night at the bank. December football. Well, no, January football. Technically January 1st. Playoff implications. Ravens Steelers. It don't get better than this. We might be without Lamar Jackson, but I can't wait. Let's go. Looking ahead here. Bills and the Bengals will play Monday night, and I can't wait. Cincinnati's going to lose to the Bills, bro. If that's what I said, you know what I meant. If I messed that up. Cincinnati's going to, yeah, if I messed that up. But those are your two primetime games. Two pretty good primetime games as well. And I see that Steelers fan I know is in the chat. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It is what it is. You still lost, and you're going to lose again. Let's go. Ravens are coming for you. You can run and you can hide, but we're going to get you. We're going to get you. With that being said, those are your games coming up this week. So let's get ready to get into our last few segments here. We are going to get into our few gambling segments here. And then we're going to do our quick picks. And then we're going to get out of here. So our next segment of the day, we are going to get ready to go with That's right. That's right. It's time for your dog of the week. Shout out. Sponsored by Simba the Boxer. And absolutely, man, to all the Pittsburgh Steelers fans in the comments, man, going to be a banger of a game. We know it'll probably be a field goal game. One of the best, still the best rivalry in the NFL, like you said here. Going to be a great game. Going to be very exciting. So I can't wait, man. Cannot wait. Your dog of the week last week, however, let's take a look. Las Vegas took the L to Pittsburgh. However, we went 50% with the Jags beating the New York Jets. Somehow they were the underdog. I'm not sure. We are officially 12-9-1 overall dog of the week. 12-9-1. Not bad. Not bad. to the Ravens fans that say this,
Wow. Crazy.
crazy.
Crazy girl.
I try to tell you guys, Lamar Jackson needs his money. He needs to get paid. He is the guy. I like Tyler Huntley, man. Tyler Huntley is a baller. Don't get it twisted. That guy is a player, man. He is a baller. But at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is our guy. Lamar Jackson's our guy. Let's look at our dog of the week. And that is so funny. Sitting at 12-9-1. I'm going to have some angry people in the chat here. My dogs of the week this week are the Cleveland Browns plus 110 versus the Washington Commanders. I don't like Carson Wentz. I'm sorry. Like, he came in, he played well against San Francisco, so he might prove me wrong here. But from what I've seen, I did not like it. I don't even like Cleveland, but I think they'll get Nick Chubb going enough. Deshaun Watson needs to prove that he is the future of that franchise. This is a game where he can win to kind of help do that towards the end of the season. Give me Cleveland plus 110. And then give me the Minnesota Vikings plus 155 against the Green Bay Packers. I don't care. You can boo it all you want, but it is what it is. The Minnesota offense is one of the best in the league. Aaron Rodgers might come out and get this done somehow by a field goal, but I doubt it. Although the defense for the Vikings has not been the best, especially the pass defense, Aaron Rodgers' receivers are not developed that yet. They are not there yet. They don't run the ball enough to attack the defense. Give me the Minnesota Vikings. Let's go. Cash it. I don't know which Watson you're talking about. Deshaun Watson, yes, I agree. Christian Watson, he's just not there yet, I think. I think he's got the potential. He's just not there yet. Let's see. I want to go over some of these comments before we move on. Those are your official dogs of the week, though. Do you fear losing Lamar to Miami if they move on from Tua? Honestly, to be honest with you guys, a little bit. Just a little bit. I am. Just a little bit. The only thing that I fear is that I hope our front office pays him. I just hope we pay. I hope we give him the money that he's worth and just take the hit. That's the only fear I have. And I think if he does go anywhere, he's going to want to go back to Florida because he spends a lot of time in Florida in the offseason and stuff. So not really. I do think we're going to re-sign him. I'm not really that worried about it, but that would be, I think, where he would go. He would go to Florida if he comes off anywhere. I remember you telling me that earlier. Yeah, you think you'll lose against the Cowboys. I think the Pack win against the Vikings, but lose a soul crusher to the tough Lions team. Okay. Yeah, I don't either. I think we sign him. I think we do end up getting the deal done. But if he went anywhere, it would be back to Florida. So, moving on. Let's get into your next gambling segment here as we get ready to wrap this thing up. Next, we will do Parlay of the Week. And like we said, you guys can find all of your current up-to-date odds down here at the bottom on our live odds ticker. Today we have NBA, NHL, and NFL odds. Odds are subject to change. And if you haven't, as we're getting ready to round things out, man, make sure you hit a thumbs up on the stream. We really appreciate that. Make sure you are subbed so you can get all this info and this gambling advice weekly. So let's get ready to get into your parlay of the week. Last week's parlay of the week. If you took last week's parlay of the week, you were a winner. You were a winner. We took Buffalo -6.5 for Chicago. We went safe picks last week. What can I say? Buffalo -6.5 for Chicago. Kansas City -6.5 versus Seattle. Chargers money line versus the Colts for +265 odds. That's 100 for 265. Congratulations to you if you took last week's parlay of the week. Now, this week, we are now sitting at 4-11 overall parlay of the week. Here we go.
Are you ready?
This week's parlay of the week is we are riding Kansas City again. Give me Kansas City -6.5 again versus Denver. Give me San Francisco -6.5 versus the dead Raiders. The Raiders are starting Jarrett Stidham at quarterback this week. Give me the 49ers -6.5. Then we're taking Chargers money line again. Chargers money line again versus the Rams. And then the Giants money line versus the Colts because the Colts are dead.
Are you ready?
What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Is it a hit or is it a miss? If it's a miss, what's going to miss? If it's a hit, are you putting it in? Let's go. What's a miss? What's a miss? There we go. Now we have a couple more segments for you guys before we get ready to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get into our next segment here. Our last gambling segment of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to lock it up.
That's right. It is time to lock it up. Robert Allen, I just starred your comment. I will get to that right after the segment here. This week's Lock It Up, Lock of the Week, before we get into that, let's look at last week's Lock It Up, Lock of the Week. Shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati -3 was the spread versus New England. They covered by a point. They won by 4. Looking at this week's Lock It Up, Lock of the Week, I took 2. Rogers, you're not going to like the 1, but I took 2. One of them's a big number. I'm sorry. One of them is a big number, but I'm laying the number. I don't care. Give it to me all day long.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Here's your Lock It Up, Lock of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen, we are taking the Dallas Cowboys -12. The spread is set at 12 points, and I'm taking it. There's no Ryan Tannehill. There's no Derrick Henry. There's no Jeffrey Simmons. The Titans are on a fat game losing streak. They have most of their team is hurt, and Dallas is rolling. Rogers, you're not going to like the Chargers by a touchdown because you said you want that. You think that game's going to be close. Bro, give me Dallas by 12 against Tennessee all day long, bro. All day long, bro. Tennessee is just, they're dead. I'm sorry, but they're dead. I'm sorry, bro, but they're dead. The Titans are dead. And the Cowboys just put up 40 points against the Eagles defense. What do you think they're going to do against the Titans? What do you think they're going to do against the Titans after doing that to the Eagles? Come on now. Other lock it up, lock of the week. Give me the Chargers by a touchdown against the LA Rams. I think the Rams are not good. I know they just put up 50 points against the Broncos, but the Broncos offense is so garbage. The Chargers offense, when healthy, is stacked. So give me the Chargers by a touchdown. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I know John Wick's not happy about it. Hey, I'm just saying, bro. The Tennessee Titans are not it. We got one more segment for you guys here today. Derrick Henry is doubtful. Derrick Henry is doubtful with a hip injury. So, all right, we are going to get ready to get into your last segment here. It is a fan favorite. It is interactive. If you know what the last segment of the day is, go ahead and throw it in the comments for me. If you have been here before, let the people know what time it is. Respect it. I respect it. You know what it is.
It is time for 7 quick picks of the week.
Quick picks, baby. You already know what time it is. This is where at the end of the show, we go into this week's NFL games and we give a quick synopsis of how this game's going to go. I give you my quick pick winner of the game, and we keep the train rolling. And I invite all of you guys as we go through all these NFL games to throw your quick picks in the chat as well. It is time to pick these NFL games. You know what? Hold up. Switch it up. Switch it up. All right. Some good games this week. A few heavy favorites this week, though, too. Get your fingers ready because you got to type in those quick picks. Week 17 of the NFL season is upon us. Thursday night, tomorrow night, it kicks off with the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Tennessee Titans. And as I just said, lock it up, lock of the week. Give me the Dallas Cowboys by 12 over the injury-riddled Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry is doubtful to play. This is a game where the Cowboys should put up 40 points again. Give me Dallas all day long. Looking at the Arizona Cardinals versus the Falcons, before we do that, how could I forget? I have to throw up our record. As you guys know, last week I forgot to tally up week 15. So week 15, we went 9-7. Last week, we went 11-5. Overall, we are 125, 81-1. Come on, man. Let's go. 125, 81-1. Killing it, man. This might be the best segment of the show. This is like our best record-wise segment. But back to the games, the Cardinals and the Falcons. Cardinals will be starting QB Colt McCoy. Falcons QB Desmond Ridder. These are two teams that have not found much success yet this year. Give me the run game of the Falcons. Give me the run game of the Falcons, and I will take Atlanta to win that game. With Cliff Kingsbury on the hot seat for Arizona, by the way. Dolphins and the Patriots in what is set to be a tough AFC East matchup with a lot of implications. This is going to be one of the harder ones to pick here, folks. The Dolphins and the Patriots. Dolphins without Tua Tagovailoa. However, oh my goodness. And I believe, if I check our stats here, the New England Patriots come into this game as the favorite. I'm going to ride with New England just because no Tua. This is the collapse to Miami season, unfortunately. Give me Bill Belichick to keep his team in the hunt for the playoffs. Give me the Patriots. The Saints and the Eagles. The Eagles, Minshew Mania. Give me Minshew Mania to get it done against the New Orleans Saints here. I just think the Saints don't really have it this year. And I think the Eagles still have a lot to play for, fighting for their division. They have not clinched their division. And I like how Minshew played last week. The Eagles are a well-rounded team. Give me the Eagles over the Saints. Then we go to the Colts and the Giants. Colts and the Giants. This could be a pretty good matchup here between these two teams. Two run-heavy teams. Going to be stacking the box against each other. Give me the Giants, though, man. I can't take the Colts. The Colts are so bad at football right now, dude. The Colts are so bad at football. They just have no chemistry, it seems like. They are without a lot of their playmakers, and the Giants are still fighting for their playoff spot. Give me New York. Then we go to the Panthers and the Buccaneers. As you guys know, this is the team that I get wrong literally every single week. Every single week I get this wrong. So give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sorry, Tom Brady, if I ruin your playoff chances here by picking you. But I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Panthers this week. I just think, like, Tom Brady has a lot to fight for here. It's a bad look if he does not make the playoffs. And, like, matchup-wise, like, on paper, this is a game that the Bucs should win. The Panthers starting cornerback J.C. Horn suffered a broken wrist. Give me the Bucs. Then we go to the Broncos and the Chiefs. Broncos parlay of the week, where he took the Chiefs by 6.5. So obviously I'm going to take the Chiefs here. Broncos have not beat the Chiefs since Peyton Manning, and the Broncos are very bad at football this year. They just fired their head coach. Their $250 million QB cannot make wide open throws. Give me the Chiefs all day long. We took the Chiefs by 6.5 on the parlay a week. You could probably take them by like 10, 13, 14, and still be good, to be honest with you. Just saying. But as we look ahead, the Bears and the Lions in an NFC North matchup. The Bears looking to play spoiler for the Lions, who I believe are still fighting for a playoff spot. The Lions have a lot on the line here. If they can win this and beat Green Bay next week, give me Detroit to beat Chicago. I just don't think Chicago has enough. I think Detroit's going to outscore them. Give me Detroit. Going to the Browns and the Commanders, I took them for a dog of the week as much as, it pains me to do it. So I'm going to go with the Browns here. And that is strictly because I don't like Carson Wentz. I just don't. I think he might prove me wrong here, to be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not even that confident in that dog of the week or this pick. But I'm going to take the Browns. I think they'll establish the run game. I think Deshaun Watson is trying to prove that he is the future of the franchise. So give me Cleveland. Jaguars and the Texans. Give me the Jags. The Texans got a good win last week, but the Jags are trying to stay at the top of that AFC South. And they're coming along as of late, so I'll go with the Jaguars. Then we go to the 49ers Raiders. 49ers parlay of the week. I'm taking the San Francisco Niners. I don't think Las Vegas can compete with the Niners right now. I think San Francisco is one of the better teams in the NFL at this moment, and I think they will beat the Raiders pretty handedly, actually. Jets and the Seahawks, this one might be a little bit closer, though. Two teams, the Seahawks kind of fell off as of late. Geno Smith with a big season, kind of cooling off here. Mike White set to make the start here for the Jets, though. I like the momentum with Mike White coming back, but I think I'm gonna go with an upset here, and I'm gonna take the Seahawks. If that is an upset, yeah. Seahawks are the underdog. Give me Seattle to get a win here against Mike White and the Jets. I just think it's an even matchup, and I think it'll be a close game. Vikings and the Packers. This game has a lot of meaning behind it. If Green Bay loses this, they are out of the playoffs. The Vikings are top of the NFC North, one of the top teams in the NFC. They're looking to knock out Green Bay and end their season. And I took them as a dog of the week. So give me Minnesota to officially end Green Bay's season here. Rams and the Chargers. Chargers minus 6.5 on the parlay of the week. Give me the Chargers here. I just think they are more talented than the Rams at the moment. Rams still injured. Rams coming off a 50-point win, but, I just think the Chargers are a better team, and they have more to play for. This game, you guys already know who I'm picking here. Give me the Baltimore Ravens all day long. Tyler Huntley will get it done yet again, as it looks like Lamar Jackson will be out. But this is going to be a low-scoring defensive game, and the Ravens are going to win this by a field goal. So give me the Ravens by 3 in a close game Sunday night. Looks like the people are picking against my Ravens. That's okay, though. That's okay. And we look at the Monday night game to round things out. The Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals in what is set to be an amazing game. Give me the Buffalo Bills to beat the Bengals, set up the Baltimore Ravens to take control of the AFC North yet again, and everything will be great in the world. Those are your quick picks of the week. man. Once again, I want to thank all you guys for tuning in this week and every week. This was such a special episode. Once again, quick shout out to Vicente Junior, Gabriel Silva, his son, and Bain Hughes for joining us for an amazing interview. Quick Super Bowl pick. I like Kansas City, Buffalo. Baltimore is a contender when Lamar comes back. Honestly, though, like if I'm being like real straight up with you guys, like no bias, I feel like we need a few more offensive weapons. So like my complete like non-bias, I like it's going to be probably Kansas City or Buffalo. And then it's going to be the Eagles or the Niners. Eagles or the Niners. I liked Minnesota, but their defense, I don't think it'll hold up in the playoffs. So it's going to be, those are my four teams. Eagles, Niners, Bills, Chiefs. Ravens can get there. I mean, Lamar can do anything, but like being like completely unbiased, we don't have as many weapons as some of these teams. So Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, though, but Greg Roman always finds a way to screw it up. So shout out Greg Roman for making me lose hope in my Super Bowl hopes. All right. So thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, once again, shout out to those guys, Vicente Junior, Gabriel Silva, Bain Hughes. Appreciate you guys joining us. Wish you so much luck and success in the future. And, hey, maybe I'll see you guys down on the mat soon. And I might be taking up my free 7-day trial. You might see me down there soon. We'll see. Make sure you heard Vicente Junior, man. Go to Conquest BJJ. Get your free week's trial, free 7 days of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if you tell them you were watching In the Zone with Zeb. Super cool of them to do that. We are live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, covering all things sports news, sports gambling, and anything else we like to get into. Only here on the Zeb Media YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Make sure you guys are subscribed before you get out of here. I will see you next week. And make sure you stay tuned. Before next week's show, I will be posting the interview with Vicente, Gabriel, and Bain on the YouTube channel to be rewatched. So stay tuned for that. And I hope everyone has a safe New Year's Eve. Have fun. I hope you guys all have a great time, but please be safe this New Year's Eve. Yeah, man. I guess that's it for me. I'll be back here next Wednesday. I hope you guys get to watch some sports this weekend. And as always, as I like to say, good luck to your sports teams as long as they are not playing mine. I will see you all next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, he broke his ankles. Goodness. Out of nowhere. Oh, there's a drive to deep. Jones.